What's up, guys? What's going on? I do apologize. I actually had a little mishap, but I'm not really feeling that game anymore. As you can tell, I'm exhausted, and I came to a current conclusion. I promise this rant is going to be really short. So, as I should have done before I actually start streaming, I should have fixed all this. So, I came to a conclusion that I need to go to church, but I can't actually make all that travel from here to there. I'm exhausted. I want to play because it distracts my mind, and I just got a message from somebody that's saying, "Are we gonna go to church?" It's just that I need to go to church and keep my mind and my sanity. But it's Sunday. Here in Mexico, Sunday, thank God, and I said again, thank God where I live, they pretty much understand that everybody works on the week, and Sundays they stay a little bit open, a bit longer. I have literally, I'm not ashamed to say it, literally nothing, absolutely nothing to make for supper. Excuse me, it's just hiccups. For supper or anything. So, if I go to church, I know I'm gonna be making a ultimate sacrifice, but that means I have to take time off from work to go and get my shopping done, which I can literally do it a fraction of a time tomorrow. It's just around the corner, not literally, but technically, if you know. But I just need a car, so I decided not to go. Why? Well, I don't want anything to happen to my indigestion system, my gut, large intestine, because I literally been at a point where I haven't known what to do for a while, and I just keep trucking, man. I just keep going. I'm a beast sometimes, and well, it's getting there. It's gonna take me slow, and when I mean slow, I'm normally making good amount of money. Now I'm making good amount of money, relatively about the same that I was before, but yeah, instead of working 12 hours, I'm working about 10. I'm saving 2 hours. I don't know if this job is going to be secure for a while. I mean, I'm doing my part. I'm supposed to do phone transfer, so it's relatively hard because, well, it's just I have no idea what's going on. I seriously don't know what's going on. I do have two jobs though. I actually have put one off right now for a whole week. They haven't called me, so I don't call them, so it's still there. So if excuse me, guys, please take off your mic. Never mind. I got it. What I was saying is basically I've been actually putting off. If this job doesn't actually go through, at least the other one will take care of my bills. But I don't know where that one stands, and I have some other offers as well. But I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel exhausted. So for me to actually unwind a little bit, for me to actually just chill, relax. Yeah, I just saw that too. I think I just wanted to play a little. I'm gonna wake up a little late. I'm actually gonna. Nah, I'm not gonna work because they are offering hours tomorrow to work, but no, I'm okay. I just noticed that on the weekends working for an insurance company doesn't pay off. I mean, it does to me, but it actually makes you look bad because there's not that much, willingness from the clients to actually deal with you. And I completely understand, I'm not talking bad about any clients that, people that I work for. Because I'm one that, if I'm looking for something, for example, today I want to take care of my bank problem, my bank issue. I just got it. Oh, thank God. It cost me a great deal of headache because they weren't giving it to me because they don't like me. Straight out. I can tell. Anybody can tell. If you walk into a business and automatically you get bad service, it's not because the place sucks. It's because the person that's serving you does not like you. Why? You see everybody getting served properly, timely, adequate. And every time I go to this bank, which is the only bank in the neighborhood that I can actually go to, I'm crippled. So I have to, a lot of people hate it when I say that about myself. Hey, it is what it is. The best way to describe it, I can't say I'm handicapped because when people hear that word handicap, they think, oh my God, he's paralyzed. No, I am not paralyzed technically. I am paralyzed from my ankle down, both ankles. And I almost got my leg severed off by a Kalashnikov. If you don't know what that is, well, Google it. So, it's very difficult for me to walk, but I do it anyways. So, anyways, long story short, I get to this and picture this. You go in, and this is not like conventional banks that you guys know in the States or anywhere around the world because these banks here in Mexico are kind of funny. Think about it as your local gadget or electronics shop that is competing with every big company out there, saying that it's cheap. Anyways, that's a little history. If you want to just Google it, it's Bank Aztec. Google it. So, anyways, uh, it's weird because you walk in, they're selling you television, blah blah blah, and motorcycles and appliances for your kitchen, for your living room. You keep going. I'm picture this in your head. You walk in and televisions, living room stuff, and also kitchen stuff. You keep moving in forward, and cell phones and computers. You keep moving in forward. Living rooms and dining rooms, and also bedroom sets. You keep going all the way to the back, and you see like 8 little windows with bulletproof glass. But a lot of people are not smart here because the bulletproof glass is just here. There's no bulletproof glass or anything on the bottom because you can tell there's little holes like the ones there's in the ceilings, little holes, and you see the people's feet on the bottom. You can just grab a gun, put it in your pocket, and tell them, I will shoot your kneecaps off. Anyways, so those are the tellers. There's about 8 windows, 4 or 5 are for Western Union and the bank and all that, and 2 on the left are for like if you want to pawn your gold and your silver and stuff like that. And then on the right of it, it's some desks there with people running back and forth, and they're actually your bank tellers, not your tellers like normal tellers. These tellers here in Mexico do everything from Western Union transfers to MoneyGram to wire, blah, 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 blah. So I sit my ass down and sitting there, and somebody walks up and asks me, oh, they got that look like they're looking at each other. They think I'm not noticing. Remember, I sit and I'm like this with my cell phone. But the thing is, hey, let me show you. With my cell phone, I'm actually doing this. See that? It's the camera. So I'm going like this, and I'm like texting and something, and I keep switching it around and put the video mode on. And I'm like supposed to be texting and stuff like that, and I'm noticing them looking at each other like, he's here again. Why did they test me? Well, I saw problems like that. Last problem I had because they said that the government of my country, or my birth country, was a problem. Where was I born? Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on that because it's a little iffy there because I have 2 passports. So let's just say if my country from column B, now I'm column A, they give me that BS that, oh, well, there's something wrong with the government, so we can accept your passport because there's something wrong with the government, and therefore you can't get the money out. This is my paycheck, which is not a lot. It's about $120. But for me, $120 here in Mexico buys food for a week. And I can go, eat something because at that moment I wasn't eating. Needless to say, long story even shorter, I go outside because, I'm talking to everybody. Hey, do me a favor, do me a favor. I grab a bum. Literally a bum from the street. And I tell him, hey, man, you got an ID? And he's looking at me like, why? You need to buy something to drink? You look kind of old yourself. It's like, no, I got something better. I need something to eat. And if you have ID, let's start off there. Do you have ID? Let me see. And he's like, yeah, sure, right here. All right, I give you 2 options. I can we can go eat lunch. Or B, I can give you what the lunch costs in cash. And your answer would be, what do I got to do? Well, you have to walk with me in the bank, and I will give you the MTCM number, 10 digit, blah, 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 and you already know the rest. They looked at me like, because I'm on the phone and talking to this guy, and give me your ID, and I'm on the phone. Okay. It cost me $5. That's what they don't know. Those guys in that bank cost me $5. I was happy to give that guy lunch because he was hungry too. He was already drunk. And we went to my favorite restaurant. So, they got mad, I guess. Today, they stuck me with the manager, which is a total hack. I had to wind up flirting with the broad so she can give me the freaking bank account because I ran out of money already, but I already got paid for this week. So I need to make my purchases. And I was a little bit not, on the not giving a F about it. So I bought cooked food, made stuff instead of actually going and purchasing the stuff and buying it myself. I mean, making it myself, purchasing it myself, and doing the cooking because I love cooking. So brings us up to this point. I just got it done today. Today it's done. I just got my new account. I just made the transfer, and it's gonna take about 4 days, but it's there. And I asked somebody to let me borrow some money, so they're like, yeah, here. Oh man, that guy came and I forgot to pay him. I'm gonna text him real quick. But anyways, long story short, I look tired, and you know why. Immediately after work, I just grabbed my sweater, took off. I mean, off, gone. Success, just hard. So with that being said, that is my 15 minutes rant. Let me see here. Okay, it'll be a second because this thing won't let. Oh yeah, it is letting me. Oh, there it goes. Hold on 1 second, guys. I know you can hear all that, and the reason why I'm not using my headset is because I've been actually using my headset for. I get like a pounding headache, as a matter of fact. But it's not because of the sound or anything like that. I've been using the headsets for 2 weeks, all day long. Because this is just yesterday and today that I'm not using them to stream. But I use them for work. I chill for a minute after work, and then after that I go and stream and booyah again. Okay, let's see. Set up game. Okay, who should we try now? I know. The difficult as Prince. I don't know what this is. Select game pace. Standard. Producing, researching, etc. takes a fair amount longer than when playing on standard speed. The game is bound to take longer but still feel like a normal game. No, let's just leave it on standard. Okay, let's I don't know. I don't really know. Let's go with the United States. Okay. I already got most of the hang of it, so.
Welcome, President Washington. You lead the industrious American civilization. Formed in the conflagration of revolution in the 18th century, within 100 years the young nation became embroiled in a terrible civil war that nearly tore the country apart. But it was just a few short years later, in the 20th century, that the United States
There it is. It's gonna make it go bye-bye. There it is. And then I'm not
the height of its power, emerging triumphant and mighty from the two terrible wars that destroyed so many other great nations.
There goes.
The United States is a nation of immigrants, filled with optimism and
You hear
determination.
that?
They lack only a leader to help them fulfill their promise. President Washington, can you lead the American people to greatness? Can you build a civilization that will stand the test of time?
All land military units have 1+ site 50% discount on purchases of tiles. Did you hear that? The American or the United States is established by immigrants.
This is a good place to found a city. Food and resources are plentiful here. Press your Settlers Found City button.
Okay, why is he speaking to me?
Consider sending your warrior out to explore new territory.
You can talk to me all you want. Oh my god, I go ape. Perfect. Okay, let's see. I have whale. I have marble. I have silk. So let's do it here.
Excuse me.
Quiet you.
You should found your city soon.
Yeah, there it goes. Please get off my jock.
Excuse me.
Yeah. The textures and yeah, I know all this stuff already. Got it. Okay, let's see. Marble. Silk. Requires calendar. Requires Macedonian. Okay. So let's go with sailing first. Okay, and we're gonna concentrate our city in food, and we're gonna start processing this. I heard you the first time, Jesus. I want that, then I want a scout, then I want a okay. Let's see. Oh, we got wheat here. And we got cattle here. And it looks like I'm in the island here, so let's move on up. Got no choice anyways.
The meek shall inherit the earth.
Oh
but
man,
not
that's
its minerals.
great. that? Spices. Interesting. Here. See that? These are like a mountain. Oh. Yeah, I know you can't tell from my ocean is this way. All right, keep going. What's that? Gems. Nice. I think I found it right here. See the walk and get the weed here and that here and that here. What's that? Okay, we're going to be up for a little bit. 'Cause I really feel tired. Oh, man. Cool, roll it. Yeah, stay off of my land. I go up here and get a little bit of more bird eye view. No? Okay. That? It's gold in them down hills. Okay, definitely here. Put on here. Right here. Great. Good competition for the gold. He has marble, gold. Come on, come on, come on.
Our capital city has finished building a unit.
Really? What unit was that? Because I didn't even do any units. Perfect. Scout and settler. Let's keep going, guys. Come on. Okay, let's go here because we're gonna get iffy.
Shall the clay say to him that fashioneth it?
Isn't just bro? Yeah, I did. Okay. I know where this is going. Oh man, this guy is a good spot. Okay, now about more of my renting. Did this just guy go? Oh my god, it just expanded. Sugar cane! Yay! Hurry up, you.
Cities can bombard besiegers.
Let's go.
I have some information.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna be using the best civilian. Okay, which one is the one? Okay, growth, cultivation, capital, some wonders. No, okay. What? 50% what? Seller, yeah, this one. Where's this guy? You can handle it. Oh, you will die. Wow. I'm gonna split these guys in half. They're two together. Another rune, yes. Come to Papi. Ooh. Wine, dine. What's that? I should put the news at least. I mean, we're gonna be here for a little bit.
Election spoiler Gary Johnson. I was thinking Democratic Party savior Gary Johnson. I mean, I'm not thinking as good of terms as you have. I was thinking, how do you really describe him? Slimy Gary Johnson, anti-gun Gary Johnson. I guess it's really Hillary's husband Gary Johnson.
Hillary's husband, Gary Johnson. I mean, there it is, as far as I'm concerned. She wore Bill out, he's gone. He's just a hulk. She's getting there herself, but in the meantime, she could use a little bit of an infusion of energy from somewhere, so let's marry off Hillary to Gary. Hillary and Gary. Hillary Johnson.
It really is transparent, though. How can the Libertarians support the secret TPP that basically they now admit takes everything over? It's the world government final mega treaty. And you've got him then bringing in an anti-gunner who says arrest people that have guns that hold over 5 rounds nationwide, make them all criminals. I mean, how in the world are Libertarians putting up with this?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, who are they even now? They come together, what is it, every 4 years, and they pick a new guy to run, and then they go away. They don't have any status or standing that they've established on their own. It seems like they're just basically raising money off the word libertarian. If they didn't have that in their title, if they called themselves, I don't know, the Gary Johnson Party or just the 4-year party, every 4 years we nominate somebody, nothing would ever happen. I mean, they're just poaching on the word libertarian, which has a history. It does mean something. Ron Paul
Thou
was
shalt
over
not
there,
muzzle the
on
ox
that
when he
side of
treadeth out
things.
the corn.
But now it's just, we're for sale. Who's got some money? We'll offer you a candidate that'll say what you want him to say. And I agree with you completely. This guy, he reminds me, Johnson, a little bit of a snapping turtle, you know? When I was a kid, a snapping turtle came into our backyard. And I was warned, and I looked at this thing. It was pretty big, and it wasn't moving. And I thought, what harm could
Oh
that
my
do?
God.
Just let me walk up to it and look at it. And I kind of put my finger near where I thought his head would be, and all of a sudden, pow! He was a snapping turtle. And that's the way he turned in that interview. All of a sudden, well, don't use that term and so forth. And then, bang! You know, he suddenly attacks the interview.
And again, I get mad interviews too, but it was the instantaneousness. It was how he had this fake, friendly demeanor, and then instantly, like a moray eel or a snapping turtle, shoots out of the hole. And I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. The creepiness in that studio a few years ago, and I interviewed the guy a lot, when he was sitting there, at first I thought like something was wrong with his face or he was having a seizure because he was like really looking like he wanted to kill me. And I was like, and he wouldn't talk to me during the breaks hardly. Oh. And then after a couple of breaks, I was like, this guy is really funny.
Get them, boys.
And I remember asking the crew, why do you
He
even
who
come here?
commands
It's
the
actually
sea
really weird. You're a
has
smart guy
command
into
of
psychology.
everything.
I mean, that's what you write about. What do you think that sounds like, what you just heard myself and CJ describe? Because believe me, that's what he was doing.
I've seen a lot of people who have this, you know, we used to call yuppies 10, 15 years ago. A sense of tremendous entitlement, education, scholarship, learning, and all of this. And they talk and they smile and they kind of come off like sort of wimpoids, you know, and they know what's best and everything.
They love listening to themselves talk.
They love listening to themselves talk. They feel, you know, white shoe, as you said, very entitled. But of course, I'm for the masses and everybody, and I love everybody. But then, if you
Survive.
now comes the real person, right? Who's totally unhinged, snapping turtle, who can't stand, you know, to be around anybody that disagrees with them, or challenges their viewpoint, or even asks them a pointed question like this guy did in the interview. No, that's not allowable. Suddenly, you know, they go crazy. And
that's right, they can't even debate. And now I realize that's why he was getting so mad. I was just nicely debating with him, and he was getting madder and madder.
Yeah, they can't enter into one of those conversations at all because they have to be, you know, on top. That's basically, it's kind of like a fascist in, a great picture there, a fascist in sheep's clothing, right? And they're very nice, and they kind of come off as humble, and, you know, the whole thing. I'm sure that you could get Gary to talk for hours and hours about his phony ideas on white privilege and how, you know, he's doing penance and repentance for this and that, and everybody else should, and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, yeah, there's a good resemblance between this turtle, snapping turtle, and Gary. The nose, the mouth, boy, he's ready to, here he comes, you know. It's that schizoid thing, you know, where he's going to be wonderful to everybody about everything until there's a danger that, you know, he might be exposed for something that he's saying and that it's wrong, and that you're going to drill down a little bit deeper, and it's going to get wronger and wronger and wronger, and then all of a sudden he's going to totally snap at you.
And that's what happens. This is a longer interview the town hall did a great job with. He never debates anything. He just goes, no. Well, what about the executive orders of Obama? What about our being run by foreign treaties? I'm not discussing it. I'm an intellectual. I mean, I guess really he's an empty suit is what it comes down to.
I think so. And you find that with college professors, for example. You know, when you actually start to engage them on a point that they can't really defend, and they've got their whole mask set up so that this is the way they're going to feed you their spiel and so forth, and now you puncture that, college professors can become instant snapping turtles. You go outside their box where they've got everything figured out and defined. I mean, this is, again, entitlement. It's a position. I've got my position. I won my position. I earned my position.
And like you said last week, part and parcel of totalitarianism, whether it be fascism, communism, whatever it is, a cult, is that it's all rigid top-down systems where everything's got to be finite
Okay, I'm gonna let down
and basically
2
frozen in time.
cities.
That's what these people are looking to build. That's why they hate the runners of the city.
Open, freedom, creativity, imagination, new ideas, new frontiers. Let's have solutions instead of insanity. Let's have real solutions. Let's lift people up instead of making them permanently dependent upon whoever the leadership is, the government, and so forth and so on. These kinds of ideas. Hey, I've got an idea, Professor. You know, you're talking about how sympathy for the people who are downtrodden and so forth and so on. Do you know that in Chicago, there's a group of people who are operating inside a huge building, and they have an urban farm there? And people from the inner cities are growing food, fantastic amounts of food, and they're learning how to grow food, and the kids are there, and they're trading food, and this is like a renaissance of nutrition. And if the government wanted to, the federal government, they could suddenly show up and say, you know what, this is a fantastic idea. Instead of spending $2 trillion on the war on poverty and failing completely, let's spend a few $1 million and let's put, how about 4,000 of these urban farms in inner cities across America?
No, instead, as you know, I've had the guy on that did it in L.A. when he started planting stuff in the mediums. They came to try to stop him, but he fought back and it backfired. But exactly, we need to bring urban farming back. We have a special coming out next week with Tim Kennedy about urban farms, and this is exactly getting back to normal agrarian activity is the beginning of relaunching humanity, and that's why they're trying to harass the Amish. These city farms, they're going after true independence for a reason.
Absolutely. And also, I mean, here's perfect community organizing. You know, 6 people get together and say, we're going to start an urban farm. And everybody can come in on board. And we'll trade food that we grow. And kids will be running around, squeezing the cantaloupes and the squashes and whatever. And they'll learn how to plant food, and everybody will be happy, and they'll be eating nutritious food and so on and so forth. I mean, you would expect a federal government that had any kind of sense, that actually wanted solutions to poverty, would put that at the top of the list, right? So you bring up something like this to a guy who is entitled, white shoe, yuppified, you know, trying to be distinguished and so forth and so on. And all of a sudden, it's outside his box. It's an actual solution. Say, well, instead of writing all this bullshit about how the people who are in poverty are doomed unless we revolutionize our minds about privilege and all, how about we just actually help people to lift themselves up? What an idea. Oh, no. Now they turn into a snapping turtle because they feel threatened. Because
exactly. They want those inner city kids in there 12 hours a day watching TV, the other hours of the day, you know, at school under government brainwashing. And notice every city that's Democratic Party run is the most horrible cesspit you can imagine. And they know it's a system they're running, but they now want to deploy nationwide, worldwide. We're about to go to break, but I've got a lot of issues I want to raise, a lot of clips I want to play, a lot of things I want to go over with you, John Rappaport. But what else do you want to be covering today? Give us a preview.
Well, we can certainly talk about this pesticide spraying in South Carolina that killed millions of bees in what sounded like one day. I mean, this is like a chemical warfare against South Carolina. You know, the Zika pesticide. So we can touch on that.
But they said it was safe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, no problem. You know, yeah, maybe a little bit of a health problem. All of a sudden, the colonies are gone, the bees are gone. And what about the people and the animals? Oh, no problem. No problem. Just let's move on.
Well, I mean, even the London Guardian says radiation is no longer really bad for you. I mean, you saw those articles.
Haide
by
che
Hamdi
de.
and others. They said we should,
Alexandros
you know, radiation's good,
Hyoston
John.
anakton kai
Okay, well, let's
ekonos
move
konteon.
next to some nuclear reactors. Let's all move to Fukushima then, right? I'm sure the apartment, the condos there are pretty cheap now at Fukushima.
What we see happening is the insanity of the elite. Those the gods will destroy, they first make mad. And we're just here watching on the wall, Paul Revere's self-interested. I mean, I don't want to live in a collapsed society. And we see what's happening in Europe, in Germany. We're getting into that. We're into the economy. We're covering what's happening with the bees. Straight ahead with John Rappaport of NoMoreFakeNews.com. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. And I've been pretty darn nasty to Gary Johnson. I held my tongue. Haven't had him on in years because the guy gave me the willies. And now he's an anti-gun, pro-globalist little creature working for Hillary. We're going right back to John Rappaport of NoMoreFakeNews.com. Steve Shinnick joins us in the next hour for like 30 minutes, and I'm going to take phone calls the last 30 minutes into the fourth hour. I may even host some of that today. We've got a lot to cover. Anthony Gucciardi's going to be co-hosting with me in the fourth hour today. I'm going to go ahead and do most of the fourth hour. I made that decision because the crew does so much work with all these clips and all this research and all this incredible stuff I haven't even gotten to yet. I must cover it all. But I want to be clear with everybody out there watching. I don't look at the news and try to come in here and exaggerate what's going on.
Guys, I think I'm
My
gonna
head
cut it short now.
more than ever spins when I do research. And it's so much crazier than I can describe to people. And they've had the White House run Media Matters and others make a big deal out of me saying on air, I've studied this for 25 years. I don't know about spiritual forces in the universe. I've studied physics. I've studied what the elite believe. Billions of Christians believe that the devil is an outside force fallen on this planet, manipulating humanity to kill, steal, and destroy, and basically attack God's creation. And then I look at the world and what the elite are doing. They'll go out of their way to hurt the planet while they claim they're the guardians of it. They are trying to play God. Ray Kurzweil says he's going to merge with machines and become God. Almost every major billionaire out there goes to these private consortium meetings and they discuss how to bring in world government, exterminate the majority of us. Bill Joy writes cover articles about it, admitting it. And then the White House puts out a thing saying Jones is crazy and says space aliens run the planet. No, what I said is that what you read in the Bible and what the Bible says the devil wants to do to us is basically what I see going on. So whether you're a Christian or whether you're even an atheist, you look at what's going on, they're creating aliens on this planet. Then they cut right there, and they put it in the New York Times, and they say, the guy that Donald Trump calls brilliant says, it looks like space aliens run things. No, that was a complex discussion I had. I said, I don't know that. I haven't seen that. The globalists act like aliens. Psychopaths believe they're their own species. The elite in big college papers and books say they're going to break away and be their own gods. I just quoted Ray Kurzweil. I can quote all these people to you. So whether it is the devil, whatever it is, the elite are basically manifesting this. When they splice humans with animals, when they do all these horrible things, when they create all these GMO hybrids and release them out in the open air, from microscopic up to humanoids, it's extremely dangerous. Then, do these creatures have rights? They're in this gray area. Animals have rights, humans have rights. These are the big discussions. And then the White House organs make a joke about it so we can't have a debate as all this technology races. Just like I told you the NSA 20 years ago was listening to keywords and putting it in dossiers, and the DEA was doing parallel construction, setting people up with fake court cases. I had whistleblowers on at the time who were just as important as Snowden. But back then, they didn't arrest whistleblowers, so it never even got coverage. The internet wasn't big enough then. So what I'm getting at here is, I told you all about the New World Order, all about their global plan, all about their carbon taxes, how they would set it up, how they would roll it out, how they'd use huge immigrant waves and collapsing third world to then make the West fall as well. I broke it all down. I showed you the university papers. I broke down Cloward and Piven. You know, as an audience, this is real. You gave me a lot of information as well. Now, they've constructed this thing, and I really see it in the news. I see it on the street. In the last few weeks, they have intensified their operations 20 times. I believe the New World Order started September 1st. That's a date I'm putting on it. They like to launch things September 1st. And just the whole atmosphere has changed. All the intensification of evil, the intensification of mind war, the intensification of the brainwashing is all just crescendoed like a huge finale of an orchestra. At the end of a play.
Destroyed
And right
everybody.
when you thought it couldn't get louder, it went way up above that.
Ooh, I like the way
Now I'm going to
that's
ask
going.
this gentleman, he's a really smart fellow, and he studied this in depth, and he can probably bring some clarity to this.
New York demands
Disagree if you disagree, John, I know
die.
you will, or agree, and then break down, before we get into what's happening to the Earth itself and the bees, why this is happening and what you would say about this point we've reached in the universe, and why the elite universally are building something that's anti-human and so ugly. I mean, there is a spirit to it. There is a energy to it. I don't know where it's coming from. I mean, let's just say, theoretically, I don't know. I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm raised that way. I love goodness. I love God. But let's just, for the sake of debate, what is it? And then we're on this planet out here in the universe, floating around, hurtling through space at 40,000 miles an hour, and then people make a joke when we talk about evil in the world, and where does it come from? Every culture has marveled, why do some of us do these bad things? Why do elites organize together, build pyramids, and start chopping virgins' hearts out? I mean, what's going on? Because 99% of us, John, don't want to do that.
Absolutely. Well, here's one of the things anyway. Look at what's happening.
Okay.
Anybody who says now that a nation has any right whatsoever to be sovereign, independent, self-sufficient, God forbid that,
Get him, guys.
or an individual, that's what it really comes down to. Independent, makes up his own mind, sees things the way he sees it, makes decisions, responsible for his own life in every way possible. This is the cardinal sin. This is what has to be attacked. Because the globalist plan, obviously, is to make one giant, unified cheese glob of the entire planet that is run from above by them. That's the theme. That's what they've been shooting for and aiming for all along. We're all together in this, and it's all one. It takes a village, and all of this kind of insane, supposedly humanitarian propaganda is a complete front for evil. That's the way the game is played. It's been played that way probably since the beginning of time. But now there's technology, and now there's media, and now there's propaganda and so forth. So they are perceiving the globalists,
เราเชื่อว่านี่
the
เป็นข้อเสนอ
controllers,
ยุติธรรมสำหรับทั้ง
the
สองฝ่าย
evil ones,
ท่านคิดว่าอย่างไร
a bigger threat than ever.
I need me some
Because they can see
friends.
around them that there is a movement in the other direction. People are saying, wait a minute. Are you saying that, I don't know, I was raised in France, and so if I consider myself French, I'm committing some kind of a thought crime now? That I have to be European with everything that implies? That your implications?
And then you merge with Islam. Now you have to merge with that. They're stealing our identities and then replacing it with death.
Yeah, with death, exactly. Bow down, don't say anything, forgive everything, be humble, and die. I mean, that seems to be the motto of globalism. And we're sitting, we the globalists are sitting in the steamroller, and we're coming down the street.
They're saying, it's our planet, we took it over, we're about to merge with machines and become God, get ready, we're going to kill you. And then they come out in publications every day now. We talked about this 20 years ago. John, no one would talk